guys, I'm going out for a ride. You guys are gonna get a killer out of this one. So I've got a couple things I'm testing out, and I'll go through it with you again, like the video I did with the stick. I'll do some close-ups of these two particular products. One is the bike mount, and the other one is going to be the heavy duty clamp for bikes or cars or vehicles and stuff like that. So I don't know if you can see my reflection. I'm gonna pan over here. You'll see on my bike here. I don't normally have this much crap on my bike. It's just for the purpose of testing. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Let me see if I can move this down a little bit, my camera. I think it's a little too high. Alright guys, so this is the setup I've got here. This is my electric bike. It's by a company called Honeywell. I looked at so many bikes, and the price on this one got a really good review. They're not big into bikes. They just make some bikes. I really love this bike. It performs really well, and it was dirt cheap compared to the other ones. And we've been touring a lot with this one just because we like it. It's nice and easy for long distance. We do quite a bit of long distance ride in our city. We have a huge bike path that's about 25 kilometers. It stretches out all through the river and parks and stuff like that. So it's a great ride. You'll see on here I've got of course, my phone mount. This is just a bike lock. It actually opens up. I've got my signalers here. Okay, so the two clamps are going to be a generic one, an aftermarket clamp, which is this one here, and an Insta360 clamp, the heavy duty Insta360 clamp. Both of which, this one I bought, this one Insta360 sent to me to test. And they also sent me this bike handlebar mount for, as you can see, the X4 that's going to be mounted, or the X3 or X2 or whatever, or a 360-degree camera. Now, it comes with this carbon fiber rod. It's only about 12 inches long. You can actually, if you look at the bottom, you can actually mount, it's a regular 1/4 inch screw, so you can mount like a regular stick to it. I'm not sure about that because it's the frame, it's metal frame, aluminum frame, so it's probably pretty strong. I haven't really tested it out that way. I just used a rod. Now, this is where the heavy-duty clamp comes in, which is this guy, and it will mount a bigger selfie stick on here, longer one. So this one stretches a little bit longer, and you'll see what I mean by when I'll test it out when I did half a ride. So that's the distance of that stick right there, and it will stick out that far. I'm gonna look kind of goofy riding this. I'll probably go into a park or something like that where there's nobody around. I'll stab somebody with my lance over here. So I think I'm weird. And I've got the clamp set up with the Ace Pro filming me, and I'm gonna have the X4 doing the 360, and then I'll switch it over to the longer rod. Let's see how the invisible stick works. I've got the GPS preview remote that's connected to my Ace Pro, okay, and I've got these signalers. They just signal my my bike. I have in the back, see if I signal. If I can, you guys see this? Yeah, see, it's got signalers. Pretty neat. Anyways. Really love this bike. Turn it on, it's basically on here. Comes on, I got a fully charged battery. The battery's really cool, and this is the battery compartment right here. And then we're off, guys. Let's jump out, and then we'll go for a quick ride. Alright, I think it's recording now. It's gonna wobble a little bit, but that's okay. Let me just adjust this. And it's got the secondary mount on here. I don't know if you guys can see it for the GPS. I put the GPS remote. You can put a camera there, you get a phone mount or whatever on here. So we'll just assist on here. Do a quick ride. All right, I'm off. Let's do this. Alright, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to switch the X4 to the longer rod. And let's see, we have... Actually, I'm going to go down to the pond here. Let's go down to the pond area here. Yeah, this goes into a huge park by the river. It's a beautiful hike, and I usually get us to this pond, or to this area. So let's see if I can go down here. Let's go down here. Don't drop any of my stuff in the water. That'd be no good. There you go. All right, here we go. Oh, look at that. Look at the toads. It's hilarious. Okay, I'm gonna switch the camera over to the longer rod, and just gonna spin a little bit here, guys. Sorry. Okay, here we go. So I don't have the standard or the premium lens guard on. The reason why I don't have the premium lens guard is that when it's sunny, I know it's a tougher lens guard. The one thing I don't like about it is when there's a lot of light and it's sunny out, because of the space of the lens guard to the lens, there's quite a bit of glare or lens flares in on the inside, so you see reflections, that kind of thing, which is not great for a 360 camera. All right, so let's get this tightened. All right, we're tightened here, so I'm going to extend this, and it's really long. Let's hope this holds. That'd be funny if it doesn't. It's gonna wobble a little bit. It's the mount is really strong. Both of these mounts are extremely strong. So I'm not worried about the mount itself. I'm more worried about the stick itself. Let me just turn on my camera. So this is what it's like extended. It's pretty far. This is where it was at before, 12 inches. And this is going up to what I would say about 3 feet. 3 feet, 4 feet almost. And it wobbles because, you know, the X4 is a little bit heavier than the X3 was. I would love to have the X3 to try out to see the weight difference, because there is a size difference between the two. So I'm gonna turn it around and don't drop this in the water. That would suck. I'll go fishing for it. All right, let's get up here. Here, I'm going up here. So let's throw the throttle on here. Okay, I'm using the throttle. Come up. The X4 is just whipping around. It's hilarious. Yeah, see, this is where the throttle comes in handy. I don't want to pedal go uphill. Now I can pedal.
I feel alright. Everything's gonna be okay. Waking up with a smile, my heart full of day. The sun is shining down, the sky is so blue. I'm feeling the joy, cause my soul's been renewed. All of my stresses have been left behind. I'm dancing in the light, leaving them all behind. Every worry, every doubt, they fade away. I'm catching the rhythm, living life my own way. Oh, I got that sunshine state of mind. Nothing can bring me down, I'm feeling so alive. Let the good vibes shine through. I'm gonna dance in sunshine, just me and you. I roll with global science through. I'm gonna dance in the sunshine, just me and you. Oh, let the good vibes shine through. I'm gonna dance in sunshine, just me and you.
All right, Mr. Miyagi style. Happy Sunday. Hey, it is scuba night. So I gotta do this really quickly because I have to pack and get my stuff ready for scuba. So the first thing I'm going to review is going to be the handlebar bike clamp. And the second one is going to be a comparison between the Insta360 Heavy Duty Clamp as well as a Aftermarket Heavy Duty Clamp. The Heavy Duty Clamp and the bike mount was actually sent to me by Insta360. I'm not sponsored by these guys. I have complete freedom in terms of what I do on my content. I did, however, buy the other clamp on Amazon. It's a generic or third party one. I'm going to compare the two clamps, and you'll see you saw in the video that I had both clamps going, and I'm going to review the handlebar mount itself. Guys, the purpose of me being here is so that I can test out these products for you so that you don't have to test it. Hopefully that my pros and cons will give you a basis of making a smart purchasing decision. That's the reason I'm here for. I'm going to start off with, I'll get to the review in a second and the comparison in a second. I'm going to kind of give you an intro on a couple things that I'm going to be doing. First and foremost, I've ordered some accessories for the Insta360 Go 3. I made a couple things. First, there's going to be 4 accessories. I'm waiting on the 4th one to come in before I do a full review. Just give you a hint of the neat things that I have. And these are things that the Insta360 doesn't carry. So what I like to do is to do accessories that the company Insta360 doesn't carry. And that's where these aftermarkets come in. I'll also do the stuff that they carry as well. If Insta360 sends me stuff, I'll do reviews on them. And they're going to be positives and negatives of those products. This is what I like to use it for. This is my opinion only. So things like, you know, I know Insta360 has a dive case for the Go 3. I don't know if I would take this to diving. The low light's not the greatest on there, and it's only 2.7K. But for around the beach, that's what I would still have, that dive case. I've ordered a dive case, and just for around the beach, because the docking module on the Go 3 is not waterproof. The camera is, but the docking is not. So if you're gonna have this on the beach playing around, you want to protect that docking station. Okay. There's a couple of ways, and I'll show you how to do it to protect your product from water, salt water, sand, that kind of stuff. You know, take care of your product. You invest in the product. It's not cheap. These things are 500 bucks. Don't wreck it. Don't be frivolous and just say, hey, it'll be fine in water. I don't trust any camera. I don't care if it's a GoPro or DJI or Insta360. If I'm near salt water, I don't care. It goes in the case. I'm not that lazy, and they're cheap investments to protect your camera. It's that simple, guys. And if you want to go ahead and throw your camera in the salt water, and if something happens to it, don't come on the groups and start complaining, because you knew what's involved and you knew the risk. So if you don't want to do that, then you have to deal with the risk later on. That said, things like, you know, they have the waterproof housing for the whole camera, but they don't have it for the actual little camera. Insta360 doesn't carry this, and I found this on AliExpress, and this is cool. So if I want to take this to go snorkeling, you know, I put it on this case and just go snorkeling. It gives it that, you know, it is waterproof. You know, majority action cameras are designed to waterproof. The problem with waterproofing is that they're prone to accidents. You know, we've seen countless cameras with accidental doors opening, panels opening. There's leaks through the lens guards, that kind of stuff. And that's not just on Insta360 products. You see that in Ace Pro, and you also see that in DJI as well. So it's across the board. I'm not being biased to any company. I've seen it happen to all the products, every brand. I've been using action cameras since day one. So, and the reason why I use dive cases, guys, is because I want to protect the camera itself from scratches, nicks, bumps, dents, that kind of thing, or cracks to the screen. Don't forget that any of these cameras at any given time, they still have displays on them, and they break. I'll give an example. You know, the DJI or the GoPro has 2 color displays. Those things are not break proof. You know, yeah, waterproof is one thing, but then you're protecting that part of the camera as well. If you drop your camera, if you're snorkeling, you drop that camera, it hits a coral or a rock underwater, it's going to crack that display. And those are expensive to fix, if they can be fixed at all, right? So it's not just about waterproofing, it's about protecting the entire camera itself, right? That said, we'll do that for another segment. Just accessories like that. The other thing I wanted to touch base on is that with the 3D printing, you've seen my 3D printing segments. I'm hoping that's helping you guys who wants to start with 3D printers. I started going back to doing TPU again. If you're not, I'm going to make this very quickly. TPU is a type of plastic. It's like silicone. It's rubbery. What I mean by that is, like, for example, this is TPU right here. I don't know if you can see it. I can actually squeeze it, and it's like silicone. It's like a hard rubber. The nice thing about TPU is, for example, on the Ace Pro, I designed these bumper guards, and I love them. I think they work really good just for like scrapes across, because the lens guard are flush, right? And it has helped me when I put it down face down or whatever. It has helped me from scratching or nicking or chipping the edges of the screen guard. And we've seen that happen with countless people doing that, right? So this really helps. And I used to make this, print this in plastic, just regular plastic, hard plastic. And the problem with hard plastics is that over time, plastic will expand, okay? And what happens is it'll pop right off. And I've lost a few of those screen guards. But I printed a bunch of them, so I have a handful of them. It's not a big deal. I'll just put another one on. It's getting to be a pain in the butt because I look at it and the thing is gone, right? Also, those plastic is not UV rated. So if you're in sun or you're in the heat, those things will just warp and it'll come off like you won't even notice it, right? Now, I got into TPU a while back ago, and I don't really like working with TPU. TPU material is really hard to work with. There's a lot of variables, and you have to print in a certain temperature. You have to print very slow to get a good result from TPU plastic or silicone. So I kind of went back into it, and I'm just doing little things. I wouldn't do large products with TPU. For things like lens guards, lens caps, you know, I made these little 1/4 inch, you know, the 1/4 inch mount for cameras, tripods, for selfie sticks. I put these on to protect it, or because they're kind of sharp, right? So things like that. These are perfect. TPU is perfect for little things like that. And to have a lens guard for the Go 3, you just pop it on, it slides on, and it's stretchable, right? And so it's not a problem. And it's kind of rubbery too. The lens guard is kind of nice because the lens guard, you can see, it's flexible, right? So it allows me to put it on the lens guard, and it has a tight fit. And this is not going to be an issue in heat, or it's not going to pop off very easily because it's stretched out and it's like a rubber band. It actually holds that lens guard. So things like that, I'm getting into more. If you guys want the print files for these, just let me know. I'll drop it down in the description, or I'll send it to you directly. So just ahead of coming up with accessories, making things like holsters for, like I just designed this new holster with the Go 3. You saw it before, but now I have if you notice, the Insta360 doesn't sell this. There's now actually a frame, polymer frame that goes around the Go 3 to protect the actual frame itself. So now it makes this thing bigger, so I had to redesign the holster. So now this new holster actually holds the Go 3 with it. And I'll have that frame on all the time because it gives it that extra protection. Anyways, that's it, guys. We'll move on to the review and enjoy. So 3 products I'm going to be comparing, reviewing. First things first is the camera clamps. Okay, so I have 2 here. One that I bought from, it's a generic brand. I'm not sure what brand this is. There is no brand. Ha! It's a no-name. So it's a different style of clamp, and I'll show you what the styles are. So this one is actually the one I purchased from Amazon. It was about 30 bucks, just a little over $30. And then this is the one that Insta360 has sent me to test out, and I'm going to compare the 2, and there's pros and cons for both. And they're different style clamps, so that's why I'm doing a comparison, and you guys will decide which one you prefer. The Insta360 one's about $55 Canadian. And again, this was sent to me by, I'm not sponsored, it's sent to me by Insta360 to do a comparison between the 2. So that I'm going to throw these away for now. The third product is going to be the third-person handlebar mount. Insta360 sent this to me because I had asked for it, because I do quite a bit of mountain biking and touring with my electric mountain bike as well as my regular one. And I actually printed some camera. I designed and printed some camera mounts, but they're plasticky, and for me to put something like the X4, which is relatively heavy, far out, you have a bit of a what do you call it? That weight on the end. On a plastic mount, I don't trust it, because that would probably break the plastic, and then there goes my camera, right? So I had asked them to send me this because this one is the only one that fixes in where the T junction is for your handlebar, where the handlebar holder is, the stem, and it goes around the handlebar itself. It's all aluminum, and it clamps on to, and it's really nice. It kind of tucks underneath. I showed you on the video. And nice thing about this is it's got 2, you'll see on here, this is the, I don't know if you guys can see it, this is the mount for the rod that comes with it. It's a carbon fiber, I think it's about 12-inch mount, and it just screws on to the bottom. You can use this if you want, which I had on the other clamp, the heavy duty clamp. As long as you have a 1/4 inch, you can actually screw that in. It's pretty thin, but it is aluminum, so it should be pretty strong to hold the, I haven't tried it, but I think I will. I just tried the selfie stick on the heavy duty clamp. Now, the nice thing about this is that it also has another mount on top, and it's a finger mount like the GoPro type. And I actually, it's perfect because I put my, as you can see on the video, I have mounted my GPS on there, and it's perfect. It's a perfect view, and I can control the GPS right on there. I really like this mount just because, first of all, it's skeletal. It's aluminum, so it's metal. It's on there strong. It doesn't wobble. When you clamp this down, it's got the pads. So when it clamps onto your handlebars, it ain't gonna slip. It's got the anti-slip pads on them. The mount, the carbon stick is kind of nice. It's pretty strong. And I had the X4 on here for the start of the ride, as you can see, and then I switched over to the longer rod. So that's kind of cool to have that. And this thing actually, the rod, the connection is adjustable, so you can actually go up and down. I think it's about 180 degrees up and down, so you can actually point it down and point it up on the actual bike mount. So that's kind of neat. I don't really have, just testing, I don't really have any things bad to say about it. I can't see anything yet. I've just had it on for a couple times, run for a couple times. The only thing I could see that I don't really like about it is where the rod mounts, because the tip with a 1/4 inch mount is actually relatively small. So I'm not sure how well it's going to handle. Like if you look at the two, there's a big difference in terms of width where it mounts onto the handlebar mount. So I'm not sure how strong that is, but I think that's just through testing. I'll do a test on that with a stick and see how stable it is on that bike mount. But that's enough of that one. Not much on this one. I like it. It tucks in nice and neat underneath that handlebar. It doesn't kind of protrude out like clamps. They actually kind of stick out. You know, these like they stick out a handlebar. Whereas this one, if you take a bad spill or whatever, you're not gonna snap this thing right off, or this thing's gonna fly. If it's actually tucked right underneath, it's hidden right underneath. So that's one thing I really like about it. I don't see any cons with this at all. Not yet. It's pretty simple design, so there's not much that can really go wrong with this one. Anyways, that's that. There's two clamps. The mount. Let me put this away. The rod. I'll try and make this quick because I had a long 8-minute video in front, and you guys probably got bored. I put some music on there, so it's actually, you know. That said. So I'm going to start with the generic mount, okay? Like I said, it's a different style. If you look at the two, the generic mount is based on ball clamps. So it's got this little center pinch bar. It's very similar to the PGY Tech that's actually sold by Insta360. I think they're in partnership. What they do the multi mount selfie sticks as well. I like this. It's pretty cool because this one is a suction cup one. This is the heavy duty suction cup that sticks on the side of the car, and it works off basically the same technique, which is using this center pressure point, and it uses ball on the two sides. So as you turn this, you're actually tightening between the two balls. So therefore you can adjust, fully adjustable to whatever position you want. Tighten it, and you've got that, and it's pretty solid. It's not going to move around and that kind of thing. So this is designed for exterior of a vehicle, and it works really well. I like that one. Now this is basically the same method, same design, where it has that center bar and it has the tightening screw, the handle. Excuse me. And it has two balls on I don't know what you call these, ball joints or ball tips. So they base that, if you turn it enough, you can actually pop the balls out. That's what they look like. So that's what, you can actually separate them. And you can do them in different, that's one thing I like about the ball ones. You can do them in different configurations. They even come with the one that has a ball, instead of a 1/4 inch screw, which I have this on here. They come with this. So you can do the screw, or you can do the finger mount tip. So you can put this in, and oh shoot. So I can put this in, and I can, instead of using the 1/4 inch, I can use the finger mount, put it in. You just have to be careful, because when you loosen this knob, they both loosen, so you can actually drop both of them. I've had that happen when I loosen them. To try to loosen this one, both of them fell out. So you just kind of have to hold on to it and tighten it. So now you have a clamp, and then you have the finger mount on the top ball mount. And it's nice because you can adjust it in different positions. You can turn it around, so this would be your clamp on here. You would clamp that on to whether it's your, I had this clamped onto my kayak rack because it's got round bars. And it works better with round bars as opposed to flat or square ones. I find it does work with square ones. You have to really widen it to clamp on, and it tightens pretty good. It doesn't move around. I had it up in a car, and I had the X4 on top, and it was on a windy day. Yeah, the X4 was kind of vibrating, but that's normal. But this didn't move at all. I had both of these tested on top of the vehicle. I had these both on my bike. This is and it actually comes with, this is neat. I was wondering what this piece was. It comes with a few accessories. It comes with the extra ball for either 1/4 inch or finger mount. It comes with this guy. I'm like, what the heck is that thing? That's for the DJI Pocket 3. To hold the, I think it's the Pocket 3 or Pocket 2. So the Pocket 3 slides right in, and it's like a mount for it, which is kind of neat. And it comes with a tether. So you can actually, I don't know how this works. I think you just tether onto your device and then tether it onto this, so when it flies out, it stays on this. It doesn't really give you instructions on how to put this in. It's just like a little tether. I don't use it. Not a big deal. It's pretty secure. Both clamps are really good. Both clamps are strong. They're very secure. I like this for the versatility. Like you can actually adjust this different ways and move it around, that kind of thing, right? So this, I'll use both because I always love clamps. Either on my bike or my car or my kayak, my canoe. Like there's so many places that you can use these, and I like the clamp style because that way you can put it on flat bars, square bars, round bars on these, and they tighten pretty tight. These are pretty strong clamps. Okay, that's what I like about this. Cons, other than these things, and if you loosen, you just have to be careful when you loosen these. Both balls will loosen, and both can pop right out. That's the only con that I have with this clamp. I've worked with these clamps in the past. That PGY Tech suction one is based on the same idea, right? Now moving on to the Insta360. Now the Insta360 is a little bit more expensive, and it's a shorter, if you look at the two, it's a shorter profile. That's one thing I like about it. It's a shorter clamp, okay? It doesn't have the center pressure bar, which clamps onto two balls. It's based on a swivel system, okay? So it swivels this way when you loosen it, all right? And it can turn as well. It's pretty neat because the one clamp adjusts the swivel this way, and then also the swivel this way, horizontal and vertical swivel. It's okay. My preference, what I don't like, I like this style better because I get a little bit more control with the ball mounts in terms of positioning cameras. Okay. The drawback of something like this is that, look at the size difference. It's a lot longer. Okay. You can buy shorter ones, but it's still going to be longer. And sometimes I've had this happen with another product. I think this is bad design with the other one. Sometimes if the ball on these ones where it clamps on, if it gets wet, if there's some sort of grease or gets on here, or you'll see some that the balls are actually textured. They look like golf balls. Now, why do they do that? Because sometimes when you clamp on this, like this, and if it's wet, the ball could slip, right? Because it's not holding, it's not gripping that ball very well. You won't have a problem with this, because it works on a swivel system, and when you tighten it, it locks the horizontal and vertical positioning. So that's the difference between the two. I've seen some where the ball, it's kind of textured, it looks like a golf ball. Those actually work better. I don't know if I have one. I had one somewhere. I have it somewhere. If I find it, I'll showcase it. I have something similar to this, but the ball part right here, it looks like a golf ball. It's got divots in it. Okay, those actually work better. The reason why they do that is because if it gets wet, if there's any grease, those divots act as a friction grip. So when you clamp onto it, it won't slide because of those divots, right? It gives it a little bit more friction. When I had this mount, it was actually kind of neat because I took this mount off, and I printed and designed a selfie stick. So I can actually put this mount on here and clamp on, and I have a little selfie stick that I made for this kind of clamp, and you can like adjust it and move it around, that kind of thing. Go this way and go this way. Now what I did with this, when I designed this, I actually made the divots right on the ball itself, so it doesn't, when you tighten it, it won't. You probably break the plastic before you can actually move it around the ball. But anyway, that's besides the point. So that's the only thing I don't like about the ball ones. Because if it does get wet, if it does get grease or oil in there, you're gonna have an issue that will slip. If enough pressure is applied, or if there's really windy and it pushes it, it will move the actual device or camera on top. You won't have a problem with this one, okay? Because when you undo it, it allows you to do the vertical swivel adjustment and does the horizontal swivel as well. Once you clamp it, it locks both rotations. So there's no way this is going to slip, because I'm guessing it's on locking teeth. So it won't do that. So that's the advantage with this system over a ball system. The ball system gives you a little bit more versatility in terms of positioning your camera, whereas this one gives you a better locking, more stable hold on your camera. Okay. The other thing that I noticed with the two here is, yeah, this is a little more expensive. The clamps themselves, the claws, this is more solid. This is heavy. Even the claw itself, it just feels like, this feels like it's partially plastic on here. Like it holds good, like it clamps on good, but I think this is all metal, aluminum, this claw part. So I think this will be much stronger and last longer than this one will, because this is partially plastic, whereas this is all aluminum. Now, how I can tell this is stronger is this Insta360 clamp. When you close this, it comes with a wrench. Now, if this is plastic and you take a wrench to this plastic, I'm pretty sure it'll start to crack or break, especially the handle part and where this goes in here. If you're tightening that so tight into there, you probably crack this plastic. Whereas this one, I had this on the car and I used a wrench and I wrenched this thing, and it didn't move. That's why they give you the wrench, because just in case, that sometimes your fingers won't tighten enough for it to hold. Because like you saw on my bike, I had finger tightened. I couldn't turn it anymore, and I'm relatively strong. And if you have the rod on here, and you move this rod, it's gonna create enough like a handle to push this down. I don't care if it's a non-slip pad in there or not. If you don't have this tight enough, this thing will slip. It's just that simple, right? Same with this. But the wrench will help, because if you wrench that sucker so tight, likely it's not going to move as easily. So that's the advantage of this unit. I think it's just built stronger. The whole thing is heavy. It's made out of metal, whereas this is partial plastic and partial metal, or aluminum, whatever you call it metal for aluminium. Aluminium. Anyways. The other thing that I like about this 1/4 inch mount, unfortunately, it doesn't have the finger mount. You would have to put the adapter on there, the finger mount adapter, which is this one, and screw it on. Okay, this one came with a finger mount ball, so you have that option if you want to swap it out. I like, okay, I don't know if you know, have you guys seen this, a 1/4 mount that, if you look at this closely, the 1/4 mount wheel is underneath a base, okay? Rather than just expose the 1/4 mount and you have to tighten the thing and then tighten this. I like the ones with the base, because it allows me to tighten something on there very easily. And then I can just turn the base at the bottom inside the bracket, the frame. I like this method better than an exposed. And then what I mean by exposed is, here, I'll show you this. Like this is an exposed 1/4 inch that goes in. Your product goes in, and you have to keep turning it until you tighten it, and you have to adjust the ball to whatever angle. Whereas this is a free turning 1/4 inch mount, so you just, and there's a plate on top, a non-moving, a static plate on top. You screw it in tight, and then you tighten the bottom inside underneath that plate to the product. And I like that better. They've actually put holes on the wheel, so you can actually take a wrench or something like the bar. You can take, put it in the holes, and you can just tighten that real tight to the actual product. You can't, this is finger tighten only. So that's another, it's like this, it's like the wrench for this piece at the bottom that you get that extra tightening, that little bit, to make sure that your product is secured on the clamp. So that's what I like about this kind of style. And they use this style for a few things. They use it on the powered selfie stick. And again, there's a base, and then the rotating tightening wheel is inside that base. It allows you to tighten. I think this is a more secured system for your product, rather than just an open 1/4 inch that you just tighten. Because I found that sometimes when you're outdoors and you've been doing stuff, it starts to loosen a little bit. But yeah, they're both excellent, guys. They're both excellent clamps. $55, $30, okay? Those are the advantage and disadvantage of this one, and as well as this one. If you feel the two, like this is bigger, this is heavier. So you, rugged wise, I think this is more rugged. This is mostly metal. Like all this is metal except for the wheel. That I think that's polymer plastic. The hinges are metal. The knobs are, I think, metal as well, except for this one. I think that's plastic. But the whole claw system is metal. Whereas this one is lighter because the top here is aluminum plastic. I think this is a mix of aluminum and plastic, but the claws, I'm pretty sure that's plastic. So there's your strength issue right there. For me to be able to wrench this bugger in and tighten, that's an advantage. If you've got this mounted on a car, we've heard of many people who've had things sitting on a claw just breaks off, or things are popping off, or this could be the issue that it wasn't tightened or moved. The rod on here just turned the whole claw because it wasn't tight enough. So that might be an advantage for this system. So those are the two. I'm actually eager to, I've got a 3-meter stick. I got two. I got the one that you saw the review, the generic one, and the Insta360 one. I'm tempted to on my bike to put the 3-meter stick on this guy, or even on the bike mount, and test it. I don't know about the bike mount. I think it's pretty long for the bike mount. But it'd be interesting. I don't think I'll put it forward because 3-meter with that X4 at the end, it's heavy. It's just gonna bring things down. I think I'll put it up, straight up, or kind of on an angle backwards to get a more of a drone type shot on the top. So I'll be testing that out with either one of these claws. Putting a 10-foot stick on this. Anyways, guys, that's it, guys. I don't mean to make this too long, but those are the two. I'll put the description and the link where you can get either one of these down in my description. So you can take your pick, but just take the consideration of the pros and cons of each of these and what you're going to be doing with these clamps. And you know, if you're just using it for a bike, you know, goofing around, that kind of stuff, and you don't need things super secure, you could live with this one, no problems at all. It's pretty strong. Like I had this on, I had my Ace Pro on this, didn't move. But if you want something, if you're strapping this on a race car, a motorbike, I would go with this one just because of that wrench to clamp onto those handlebars a little tighter. So you've got $600 on the end of this thing, and the extra money that you pay for extra strength and extra secure mount is worth the investment to protect that $600,000 camera. It doesn't have to be an X4, it could be anything, right? It could be a GoPro, it could be DJI or whatever, right? But definitely, I would look into these two. They're both good mounts. Anyways, enjoy, guys. Have a good one. I'll talk to you soon and wait for the next segment. Respect. Ciao.